Mara noticed that when Japanese soldiers walked by, their sabers came very close to the corner of the table. So while pretending to prepare medicine, she picked up a bottle of concentrated sulfuric acid. She opened the cap and quietly pushed the bottle to the edge of the table. When a Japanese soldier walked by, his swaying saber was still some distance from the bottle. Mara gathered her courage and moved to the hallway, pulling a chair back behind her. She pretended to look for medicine in the cabinet up front. This made the hallway much narrower. When the soldier walked back through, his saber knocked right into the bottle of sulfuric acid. The acid spilled into his boot and started smoking immediately. Other Japanese soldiers heard the screams and ran in. They didn't see anything suspicious, so they quickly pulled him out for treatment. Mara pretended to look scared, and after the soldiers left, she changed into a doctor's coat. She took out a bottle of ether and some sugar cubes, then calmly walked out of the pharmacy. When she saw Japanese soldiers nearby, she pretended to bend down and tie her shoelace. Then she pushed aside the stone, holding the door open, and wedged sugar cubes into the door crack to keep it stuck. Mara placed an IV stand next to the window and walked into the waiting room. The room was full of Japanese soldiers waiting for treatment. Dr. Kent was using a pressure cooker to sterilize needles, as he always did. The steam got into his eyes and made them wet. At that moment, Mara came over and offered to wipe his eyes. While doing so, she handed him the bottle of ether she had prepared. Dr. Kent thought it was distilled water and poured it into the pot. Meanwhile, Mara casually took the bottle of distilled water from the table. After leaving the room, then Mara knocked over the bottle of distilled water she was holding. The distilled water soaked the sugar cubes stuck in the door crack. The ether vapor from the pressure cooker was making all the soldiers in the room dizzy. At this point, Mara went to the electrical room. She removed the pin from the oil lamp, then opened the electrical box, and shut off the main power. Next, she squeezed water from a towel onto the fuses. The dizzy soldiers were sent to check why the power went out. By now, the sugar cubes had melted quite a bit. When a soldier lightly touched them, the sugar couldn't hold the door anymore. The door swung shut. It knocked over the IV stand, which then hit the pressure cooker inside the room. The pressure cooker tipped over and landed against the back of a chair. Under the high heat, the ether exploded. Like a cannon, it shot the needles from the pressure cooker at the soldiers in the room. The injured soldiers screamed in pain and ran for the door. In the chaos, they knocked over the box of alcohol, spilling it all over the floor. At that moment, the soldier checking the electrical system turned the main power back on. The fuses instantly burned out. He picked up the hanging oil lamp to go report to his officer, but the door was locked, and the soldiers were trapped in the hallway. When the Japanese officer saw the soldier coming with the oil lamp, he knew something terrible was about to happen. Right then, the oil lamp without its pin fell to the ground. It ignited the alcohol and burned all those Japanese soldiers to death. Meanwhile, Mara, having accomplished her mission, was calmly walking out of the hospital. The whole thing was done clean and smooth.